this coming Wednesday on TBS on Dynamite. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Samoa Joe.
Okay, questions? Well, let's go with Sean.
Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful. I know it's been probably an up and down last year and a half for you, personally, professionally. This is kind of for Tony, too. The first time when Joe seemed like he would be available, was that something that you were like immediately interested in exploring? And were you even able to reach out to him contractually at that point?
No, but I was interested, and it just never happened. But it would have been great. But here it worked out great, right?
It did.
And to be honest, he didn't really even have much of a chance. So
Sure. But how are you feeling now? Because I mean, it was obvious that like they would be somebody that was interested in you. And how did you feel when you heard that Tony bought ROH? Something that obviously means a lot to you.
Obviously, it was a major surprise to me. Especially, coming from my former position and how hard I was pushing to buy the library for the other company. So let me know why it was being such a difficult process. But, when that did come up, at the same time, having Tony have it and knowing how much he loves wrestling and knowing how much he loved ROH and the product just from our meetings and time knowing each other, I knew it would be in good hands. And I knew it would be treated with respect and it would be, kind of made available to the fans in the best way possible. So, I was very, very happy with it.
Denise?
Joe, Denise Salcedo, Instinct Culture. I do have to ask you, being released twice is not something that, people want to have to deal with, right? And given that you are able to do all these different types of roles, behind the camera, in front of the camera, etc., I do have to ask you, how did you feel about that, and what was your, your mentality going through that?
At this point in my career and what I've done, the second release, my going back to WWE was majorly because of the people that I had worked with and the relationships that I built in the company, and namely two people in Triple H and William Regal. As Triple H obviously dealing with his situation, which I knew about and was way more concerned about than my employment, and Regal, his departure, I knew the writing was on the wall for me. And, which is fine, we were a big collective team and a big collective kind of, a think tank within the company, and, they went a different way. And, as far as like the release, I mean, it's an up and down process for a lot of people. For me, I mean, it just freed me up to really kind of pursue a lot of projects that I really wanted to work on, and kind of freed me up to, start talking with Tony and talking about the future of what he wanted to do, and I was very surprised a lot of that matched up.
Next, Joel.
Joel Torres from Contralona. ROH Originals, AEW Originals, new stars coming up on ROH and AEW. How do you feel about this? I mean, there's a lot of new generation, and you guys can combine now the originals and the new generation. How do you feel about working with this stuff?
I'm more than excited. These are the environments that I love. A lot of guys, they get to a certain point in the industry and, they don't want to put themselves on the crucible. They don't want to put themselves in situations where they got young, hungry guys who want to come up and tear the throat out for their spot. I've never had an issue with that. And, that's a major reason why I'm here. Talking with Tony, understand the lay of the land, and the athletes have been attracted to AEW and ROH. I knew that, it was a place that I wanted to be. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of new, kind of burgeoning stars that are coming into their own. And, these are the environments where I thrive. When I came into NXT, it was very much the same type of thing. When I came into WWE, everywhere I go, I'm searching out for those type of matchups with those type of individuals. And AEW is flush with them, and ROH is flush with them. And, now I have this grand opportunity to pursue those targets on both brands.
Right here. Yeah.
Hello, Joe. Mike Dagger for Lucha Libre Online. I know it's been a difficult, maybe like 2 years when it comes to even with the releases, but not only that, but you have been known to have a few injuries that have been lingering with your body. Father Time's unbeatable, right? Mm-hmm. So, how do you feel moving forward that that you're gonna have to fight a different generation of wrestlers, younger wrestlers, and be able to keep up with that?
No, more than confident. What you got to understand too is, coming into WWE, that is, me coming off a 15-year plus career, probably the worst medical care that a guy can get, and going into probably, you know, a very, very, you know, arduous schedule. And, you know, I did have a few injuries, you know, and one of them just being the major concussion, which took me out for a while. And honestly, I took extra time. You know, when it comes to brain injury and stuff like that, I wasn't willing to risk going back quickly and potentially harming myself permanently. You know, it's a dumb thing to do. We have too much science on our side. We have too much knowledge now that we can, you know, kind of pull back and treat things properly and take the time to heal. And, you know, I took the time to do that. And that was really just my major issue, is I was taking the right amount of time to make sure that I was ready to come back to the ring. And, you know, as for my last injury, obviously it was more of a circumstance of the world that we all currently live in now. And, you know, it pops up here and there. And, you know, I've been healthy. I'm more than ready to go, and I'm excited to go.
Thanks a lot, Joe.
Righteous Reg, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, Rhapsody Podcast. Samoa Joe, it's amazing to see you here in All Elite Wrestling. You talked a little bit about...
And Ring of Honor.
And in Ring of Honor. I was getting
Oh. Thanks,
You
Chris.
talked a little bit about the wanting to purchase the Ring of Honor library. My personal favorite independent wrestling match of all time is Samoa Joe against Kenta Kobashi. A great, amazing match. I watch it all the time. You, as we've seen, you've signed with AEW. Was signing with AEW, was the Ring of Honor kind of thing being together or talked about? Did that play a role in you wanting to sign with AEW?
It played a role, but I mean, you know, the initial discussions, because obviously, you know, Tony was playing his cards very close to his chest and not revealing things on his own end, heavily alluding to it, but never quite revealing. So, you know, but you know, yeah, it did play a major role because, you know, obviously, you know, I have a lot of my legacy tied up with the promotion, and you know, a lot of work that many fans have enjoyed over the years has been, you know, affiliated with the promotion. So, you know, to see it and to be a part of it and to help influence the future of it, you know, it was kind of a unmissable opportunity.
Go ahead, Nick.
Okay.
Joe, the last time I saw you in person was at the Las Vegas SummerSlam WWE tryouts, and that's a day that has weirdly stayed with me because it was very obvious WWE had decided to change the direction of the kind of talent they were recruiting for the company at that particular tryout. I think there was only like 8 independent talents there that day. What was it like for you to watch the direction change there, and do you see that creating an opening for AEW, knowing the direction WWE is headed with their developmental and recruitment?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you also have to understand that, you know, the major shift was mainly because, you know, many of the better independent wrestlers are working for AEW. So, I mean, let's just be honest here. I mean, you know, when we were tapping into a market, we're looking for new athletes. When I was with WWE at the time, you know, when the market's tapped, then you try to find a new market. And that really was probably a lot of the impetus of why they chose to switch directions. So, you know, if there's not a lot of gold in the well, you know, you start digging somewhere else.
Fair enough.
2 more questions right here, Jack.
Damien Grossi, Big Gold Bell Media. Welcome home, Joe.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That was one of the things. I got a text from my brother who was watching pay-per-view. He said, Joe's come home. So when you hear someone say you're home, what does that do for you, for one? And since we've seen them throughout your career, you're pretty much, you can slide into any role. Production, broadcaster, in-ring talent. For the new ROH, where do you see yourself sliding in terms of roles?
A world champion. I mean that's why I'm here. I mean, I tried my bit at bettering the world of professional wrestling, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm here in AEW, I'm here in ROH to be a unified champion. I'm here to win the AEW championship. I'm here to win the Ring of Honor championship. You know, I'm here to win anything they put in front of me. You know, me and Tony have already talked. You know, I'm more than willing to go into the Owen Hart and win that. Like, this ain't a game anymore. I mean, listen. AEW's got a lot of feel-good moments, a lot of great wrestlers who really respect each other. I don't respect nobody until you're in the ring with me. I'm coming out there to smack people in their mouth and take what they have. And that's pretty much my edict when I'm here. Let's get it real clear. I mean, hey, broadcaster, mentor, good guy, hey, I am all those things, but not here. Not here.
Last question. Go ahead.
Hi, here from Wrestling News Co. So you were talking about how there's some newer talent here in AEW and ROH. Is there anybody that you would really want to get in the ring with?
You know, I had a pretty large list of grapplers I could list it off. And the roster is flush with those types of individuals. But every day that I go out there, it's important that everybody knows that they're not special, they're not unique, they're another target in my way. They're another person who I must go through to get what I want. So as far as who do I want in AEW, I want it all. If you got an issue and you think you're the man in the company, come see me. We'll switch that up. We will fix that perception. That's why I'm here.
Thank you very much.